Welcome to God's Love We Deliver Nutrition Services Department. Today we're talking about nutrition and liver health. We'll discuss the jobs of the liver, diet, lifestyle, and liver health, and nutrition strategies for liver health. What does the liver do? The liver is very important. We can't live without it, and in fact, it's the second largest organ in the body after the skin. The liver does many jobs, and today we're going to focus on nutrition and the liver's involvement in 3 jobs: the digestion of the food we eat, the detoxification of foods and other substances we consume and are exposed to, and we'll look at the liver's job in helping to store important things like vitamins and even energy that our body uses. When it comes to nutrition, what we eat is very important. Even our liver is affected by our diet because what we eat can help or hurt our liver while it's doing its jobs. Most of the food we eat is either made of protein, carbohydrates, or fats, and the liver helps our body break down or digest all of these macronutrients so the body can use them. When we eat protein foods like meat, fish, eggs, or tofu, the protein is broken down in the digestive system into smaller parts called amino acids. These amino acids are sent to the liver where they can be mixed with other amino acids to make special proteins that are sent throughout the body to build things like hair, nails, muscles, and to help heal wounds. When we eat carbohydrate foods like bread or rice, or even fruit, dairy products, or beans, they are broken down into sugars. These sugars make their way through the bloodstream and into the liver, where they're converted into a form of energy that the body can use, called glucose. The liver can then send the glucose where it's needed. More on that later. When we eat foods that contain fat, the liver gets involved by making a substance called bile, which mixes with the fats and helps break them down so our body can use them. We want the liver to be able to do its job without extra stress, so it matters which foods we choose to get our protein, carbohydrates, and fats. Choose lean proteins like fish, beans, eggs, chicken with the skin removed, and lean cuts of meat. Choose complex carbohydrates like whole wheat or whole grain cereals, breads and crackers, and snacks like popcorn. The fats we eat can also help or hinder our liver in doing its job. Choose unsaturated fats, which are fats that come from plant foods like nuts, seeds, vegetable oil, and olive oil. We've all heard about detox diets, detox powders, and detox smoothies, and some of us have tried them. There's a lot of talk right now about detoxing. Our body has many systems that help remove harmful substances. One of those systems is in the liver. So does the liver need to be detoxed? The answer is no. One of the liver's jobs is to help remove harmful things that come into the body or to detoxify the body. The liver cleans itself and helps keep the body clean. And it does this in 2 phases. Phase 1, toxins in. Phase 2, waste out. Let's see this in more detail. In phase 1, the liver filters out toxins from our blood. These toxins are potentially harmful substances that enter the body in the food we eat: alcohol, medications, recreational drugs, even some supplements we might be taking, or from our environment. It could be something we breathe or something we put on our skin. These substances can be stored in our fat cells and cause damage, so the liver filters them out of our blood. In phase 2, the liver takes these substances it just filtered out of our blood and changes them so that they can't easily be stored in our fat, and turns them into substances that can mix with water in our bodies and get removed from the body as urine, feces, and sweat. Nutrition plays a role in this job too. Certain foods help the liver with phase 1 and phase 2. Which foods help the liver with phase 1, filtering the blood? These are foods that contain antioxidants. Antioxidants help remove harmful substances from our blood, and foods that contain phytochemicals, chemicals naturally found in plants that also help protect the body. These are foods like citrus fruit. They contain vitamin C, which is an antioxidant, nuts, seeds, whole grains, which contain vitamin E, another antioxidant, and orange and green vegetables, which contain carotenoids, which is a phytochemical. In phase 2, what you eat also matters, and the foods that help the liver do this job are cruciferous vegetables, or vegetables that look like trees. Some examples are broccoli, cauliflower, collards, kale, Brussels sprouts. Garlic, onions, and leeks help here too. So you can see how important it is to eat a variety of nutritious foods to help keep our liver and the rest of the body healthy. The liver also helps to store energy and vitamins for our body to use when they're needed. When our body digests the food we eat, carbohydrates, for example, are broken down into sugar or glucose that our body uses for energy. The liver can actually store glucose. The storage form of glucose is called glycogen, by the way, for when we need it. If we need glucose to help regulate our blood sugar or for energy for our cells, the liver can convert the stored glycogen back into glucose and send it out to the body where it's needed. Since we get our energy from the food we eat, it's important to make good choices when choosing our foods. When it comes to carbohydrates, the best choices are complex carbohydrates like brown rice instead of white rice, whole wheat bread in place of white bread, oatmeal in place of sugary cereal. The reason complex carbohydrates are a better choice is because, as we saw, these foods provide energy and other nutrients that help the liver do its job. And they help a lot of other systems in the body too. As we said, the liver can store glucose for energy, and it can also store vitamins and minerals. We get these from the foods we eat, so again, the more variety in our diet, the more vitamins and minerals we'll get. The liver can store many different vitamins and minerals and then release them to different parts of the body when needed. For example, the liver stores iron, which the body can use when it needs to make red blood cells. Another example, the liver stores vitamin D, which helps the kidneys do their job. As we said, a varied and nutritious diet can usually provide the vitamins and minerals we need to be healthy and to keep the liver healthy. Your doctor can tell you if you need to take a supplement to help you meet your vitamin or mineral needs. But in general, if you eat a variety of fruits and vegetables, nuts, seeds, and whole grains, eggs, milk, cheese, lean meats, and fish, you'll be covering most of the bases. It's not always easy to know which foods to eat, where to buy them, how to eat them, or how to fit all of this into a budget. We'll talk later about how to make this work for you. Let's look at the impact of diet and lifestyle on liver health. There are some choices we can make that support the liver so it can be healthy and do its job. The following is especially important for managing liver disease: the foods we eat, substance use, exercise, sleep, and stress levels. Here are ways to support the liver with nutrition. Stay hydrated. Balance your plate with protein, whole grains, and vegetables. Try to eat fewer processed foods and choose foods lower in sugar, fat, and salt. Avoid raw seafood. Select foods higher in fiber. Try to eat many different fruits and vegetables and focus on whole grains. Exercise is also important for liver health, and here's why. Aerobic activity strengthens the heart and creates more efficient blood flow to and from the liver. Exercise can also reduce fat buildup in the liver. Resistance training helps maintain lean body mass or muscle, which can decrease in liver disease. Remember, always speak to your medical provider before starting any exercise regimen. Aerobic exercise means with oxygen, so think about movement that gets your heart pumping, like walking, running, cycling, and dancing. Resistance or weight training, like lifting weights or doing squats and push-ups, strengthens muscles. Maintaining lean body mass is important because muscle loss can happen with liver disease. Other benefits of exercise include lower blood pressure, increased lean tissue, energy, and mental well-being. Quality sleep also supports the liver. Sleep is a complex, highly regulated process essential to health and well-being. Poor sleep is linked to inflammation and disease progression. Sleep quality can potentially be improved with disease treatment, behavioral therapy, improved sleep hygiene, which means creating routines that support good sleep. A protective function of the liver is to break down substances and toxic substances to be eliminated by the body. This can include prescription medications, recreational drugs, and herbal supplements. The rate that our liver metabolizes different substances depends on a person's sex, age, genetics, overall nutritional health, gut microflora, medical conditions, the type of drug or the dose or the frequency that it's taken. And all of these substances can put strain on the liver, but it's intensified by the frequency or if we're using multiple substances. All of these things can possibly increase liver damage. When we talk about this protective function of the liver, where it breaks down toxic substances to be eliminated by the body, we look at alcohol. The process of metabolizing alcohol creates a toxic byproduct which can damage liver tissue. And the metabolism of this substance competes with other normal liver processes. Smoking cigarettes contributes to increased inflammation, liver fibrosis, fat accumulation, and negatively affects the outcomes of diseases like hepatitis C. Substance misuse. Many of these substances are toxic to our liver, and the cumulative effect of using them over time can contribute to liver damage. Let's talk about stress. So the common definition of stress is stress occurs when demands from the environment challenge an individual's adaptive capacity or ability to cope. Stress can be physical, emotional, psychological, and acute, meaning a specific event can cause stress, or chronic, meaning a person might feel stress over a long period of time. Stressors cause a stress response, which is associated with immune dysfunction, disease flare ups, increased fatigue, and it can worsen liver disease. Here are nutrition strategies to support liver health. What and how you eat is important in keeping the liver as healthy as possible. Eating a varied diet consistently throughout the day is key, while incorporating the liver supportive foods that were mentioned earlier in the presentation. Eating 3 small meals and 1 to 2 regular snacks can work for many people to achieve this. Your medical provider may refer you to a registered dietitian nutritionist to help plan for individual needs and to provide support. Let's look at the different types of foods and think about balancing the plate. First, protein. Choosing lean proteins is recommended for liver health. Sources like poultry, fish, beef, lentils, and beans provide protein, B vitamins, vitamin E, zinc, and magnesium. Whole grains provide fiber, B vitamins, and minerals. Some great choices are brown rice, oatmeal, whole grain breads and pastas, popcorn, and quinoa. Next, include colorful fruits and vegetables. Having a variety is important, and some to focus on are citrus fruits and broccoli, cauliflower, onions, leeks, and garlic. There are different types of fats found in food: trans fats, saturated fats, and unsaturated fats. There are 2 types of unsaturated fats: polyunsaturated and monounsaturated. These are the healthiest types of fats to consume regularly. Some good examples are olive oil, nuts and seeds, fatty fish, and avocados. Note that the liver works to break down or metabolize fat, and saturated fat causes the liver to work harder for fat to be stored in the liver, and it also raises blood lipids. A person's blood lipids or fats, like cholesterol and triglycerides, can fluctuate. Drinking water supports health in many ways. It helps our body's organs run smoothly, helps the body keep a constant internal temperature. Water helps prevent constipation, and it cushions our joints. Try to get enough water by drinking 6 to 8 cups throughout the day every day. Drink water even if you don't feel thirsty, and drink extra water if you're doing an outside activity, if it's hot, or if you're sweating. Here are tips for including water every day. Have a glass of tea, milk, or water with your meal. Drink a glass of water at regular times during the day, and place a glass of water beside your favorite chair for a water break. Take a sip of water as you pass a water fountain. Choose a cup of yogurt or a piece of fruit for an afternoon snack. These foods provide water. And drink water before or after being outside on a hot or cold day. And a quick note about caffeine. Studies have shown that caffeine on a regular basis may reduce fibrosis in people with hepatitis C. As we mentioned earlier, having snacks between meals is part of a typical day for many people. It may help people maintain a healthy weight and get the nutrients they need. Here are some ideas for healthy snacks: whole wheat crackers with hummus, oranges with almonds, sliced apple with nut butter, popcorn without salt, and carrots and celery with hummus. Nutrition care for liver disease. Follow a regular eating schedule, ideally with small frequent meals to help even out the liver's work in digestion. Avoid raw shellfish and unpasteurized dairy products to prevent potential bacterial infections. This is especially important for if you have liver diseases like hepatitis. Limit salt to help reduce water retention and swelling. And again, research has shown that caffeine on a regular basis reduced fibrosis in people with hepatitis C. And also avoid iron supplements and iron cookware. The liver stores iron and helps regulate the body's iron levels. And with chronic liver disease, too much iron can result in iron overload, which can cause oxidative stress, which can be harmful to the liver. So speak to your provider before taking any vitamin supplements. We've talked about food choices that help support the liver. Here are tips for helping to save money when buying these liver supportive foods. Plan ahead around weekly sales and think about using items for more than one meal. For example, if you buy dried lentils, plan to make a soup and then maybe a grain and lentil salad. Create a shopping list and stick with it. Before you go shopping, check your refrigerator and cabinets to see what foods you already have. Buy in bulk and stock up on favorite non-perishable items when they're on sale. And when purchasing fruits and vegetables, save money by choosing produce that's in season. This will be fresh, tasty, and often more affordable. Frozen or low-sodium canned vegetables can be just as nutritious as fresh produce, and it lasts longer. These are good options. Just be sure to rinse canned vegetables and beans to remove extra sodium. And then cook and freeze produce before it goes bad to extend its life. And choose store brand over name brand products. Thank you for your time today. Please check out our website for more nutrition resources.